What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. We had a morning together, now we've got an afternoon together. Honestly, I'm surprised I'm live right now, but we did say we would be live earlier, so I couldn't go back on my word. How's everybody doing? Just woke up from a nap this morning. Was tough. Yeah, it was. I had to go back to sleep, and I crashed pretty hard, I'm not gonna lie. But back in business for the time being. Let's see. Let's get some of this off screen. Whew, all right. Let's see who we got. What's up, Rick? How's it going? Chosen One. Young Wiz. Hey, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I've got says Doge not looking so good after the first initial run up with Bitcoin. Yeah, let's take a look at Doge. John says, hope everyone had an awesome day. Yeah, today was pretty good. Bitcoin at 40,000. Doge still doing what Doge does best. Lots of sell pressure from 21 to 23. Yeah. Josh, what's going on? Roar Nation just made it. Nice. Got here at the beginning. Awesome. What's up, Tito? John says, right, Bitcoin going up, Doge is just chilling. Come on, let's get this baby to the moon soon. Yeah, guys. We've got a couple things to talk about here. Hey, what's going on, man? Don't forget, of course, I gotta say it. If you haven't yet, click that like button, if you don't mind. What's up, Byron? I'm here listening while driving at work. Cool. Doing good, man. Hope you're doing good too. Did you get your order? I think it was supposed to get there end of yesterday, if I remember correct. Hopefully everything looked good. I've actually 2 of those shirts back there about to get packaged up from orders this morning. So thank you guys again for the support on the store. Really appreciate it. And yeah, it's nice stuff. This is a new shirt, by the way. Brand new. Really high quality. I had to outsource some of the printing work so it could be perfecto. Took like 2 weeks and a lot of money, but the product is great. Anyway, here we've got Bitcoin lingering right under 39,900 here. Very interesting. Bitcoin is absolutely doing its best to not sell off here. I will say, though, my problem is how long it's taking. Now, that shouldn't come as a great surprise to us because we know that Bitcoin typically takes its time when it does its moves, right? So we can't be but so impatient. Just look at, for example, this downtrend right here. From here to here is about a whole month. Yeah, 4 weeks. Not a day, not 2 days, not 5, 7 days. A month. Before this, a month. Took a month, we got a spike. Took another month, we got another spike. And then in between here, I mean, you look just from here to here. So far, this has been about a week right here. This was the 25th right here, 725. I'm sorry, 3 days. 725, 728. What have we accomplished since we've gotten up here? Absolutely nothing. We had a pullback, we came back up, another pullback, came back up, and here we are, still trying to decide what we're going to do next. So Bitcoin likes to take its time. So I don't think anybody here, if you have a bit of a bullish perspective and you're wondering if that's correct or not, the first thing I would say is don't base your perspective off of just how long that this is taking. But I would say at the same, because we know that Bitcoin moves pretty slowly in general. To kind of counter that argument, though, the problem is usually when people start getting signs that this could be it, you usually do see something happen pretty quick, even if the part that plays out after that isn't so fast. So, for example, here we are. Let's just go. How far can we zoom out here? Okay, great. So here we are, just getting up here for the first time. We had you see this steep move here? Momentum, sell-off, gradual coming back up. This was good. Selling off again, some momentum, selling off again. You would think that within these last 3 days, after being in new territory, after people start switching to being a bit bullish because we've broken through all of these resistance lines that were in our way. Because remember, last week we were doing a stream and we were in this ascending wedge right here. And after we did a head and shoulders and had an ascending wedge, which are 2 bearish patterns, and broke out the top side, I said, okay, something's going on here. Something a little bit abnormal, guys. So keep an eye out. Then here we go again. Had another break, massive break up. You would think as we get up here that we wouldn't keep getting stopped at under 41,000 if our intention was to actually break out to the top side. Now, the thing is, sure, you're going to have your scalpers, your day traders, whatever, the people that are just looking to capitalize off volatility, so they're buying low and selling at the point where they think it's just going to stop, and they're executing more short-term trades versus doing investments. Sure, we're going to expect them to sell at around 41,000. But the problem is the whales, because at the end of the day, the day traders, yeah, they're probably the second most influential people when it comes to the price action, the movement, and what happens. But the real people that move the price are going to be big money. The whales, aka the ones with very, very, very large positions. So the big fish, me and you, we might have 5, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 Doge or Bitcoin or whatever. These guys have millions of dollars worth of it. So their buys and sells do much more to the price action. And they're usually much more conservative with their buying and selling. You don't usually see a whale scalping with their full position size. Usually they buy low, they hold, they sell high, and they execute like one trade, maybe here, another trade like here. And yeah, while we're doing all of this in between these 2 months, they're doing 1 or 2, and that's it. My point is, when whales buy in, that should be the start of the move. So if the whales were in belief that this was the bottom and that we're going up for good, you would expect to see some whales starting to buy in, and that we wouldn't be having such a hard time getting above 42,000 here, or even getting to 41,000. Because honestly, we got to 40,900. We didn't even break above 41,000 for even a hair of a second. So that kind of concerns me and tells me that we might not have all the buyers in that we might have thought that we did. Because if we had whales back in, the same whales that sold when when Elon dropped Bitcoin for Tesla, those same whales should be buying back in and reversing the trajectory. Especially with all this bullish momentum we already have, the rumor for Amazon and everything that got us here in the first place, we should be breaking out already. So this length of time and this kind of slow grind up, yeah, I understand there's a lot of retails that are skeptical, but you would have expected if the whales were in agreement for the price to take off here. So that's just my thought. Now let's also flip to Dogecoin. Yeah, absolutely, Byron. No problem. Let's see. My brother, hey, what's up, Advantage? How's it going, man? Subi says, out of the top 40 cryptos, Doge is the very last place for performance over the last week. Yeah, it's really hasn't been doing good. But same for like ADA as well. And Ethereum was doing okay, but it got kind of better news than a lot of the other cryptos at that event with Elon and Jack Dorsey, because Elon announced that he was actually holding Ethereum, which I don't think many people knew. But yeah, so it had a nice, it tied to Bitcoin pretty well. If Bitcoin went up 4 or 5%, ETH was going up like 4 or 5%. But yeah, I know what you mean. Dogecoin, ADA, and a lot of the other altcoins, they have been underperforming. But that's usually, you see that when Bitcoin's doing a lot of positive movement. Let's say Bitcoin's up 8% and Doge, ADA, XRP, whatever, they're up 4% instead. Yes, they're following Bitcoin, but that just tells you that there's skeptical people out there that don't believe that move is lasting. And maybe they just think it's a hype move and it's going to hit a resistance and come back down. So what you see is not a lot of people buy into it because they're a little bit smarter than that. So the altcoins don't move to the same rate. But then it's also the complete opposite, because these guys are smaller market cap. They're more prone to volatility. So with good news that everyone's in agreement with, those things can pump easier. So Bitcoin could be up 8%, Dogecoin could be up 15 to 20. If everyone is bullish. So I just look at those percentages compared to Bitcoin to tell me, like, what's the market, bullish or bearish? That's a very quick and easy way to gauge social sentiment. Byron says, oh yeah, I read that one. Doge has taught me even more patience. Yeah, same. Yeah, I've learned more about patience from Doge than I did from the Jedi. Yeah, patience is key when it comes to trading these here. And hang on, guys. I realized I kind of messed up my stream. Hang on 1 second. One sec. All right, there we go. Thank you for your patience there. So yeah, that's where we're at with Bitcoin. And anyway, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm bearish still on Bitcoin, but I am just trying to be as realistic as I possibly can be, right? And so the nice thing here is that we did see, I mean, we saw a sell-off when we got the bad news. We started to hold at like 36.5. So cool. We know that we were at least strong enough to not dump all the way down to like 33 instantly off the bad news, even though this was a steep sell-off. We came back up, had a pretty sharp pullback here, but we held above 39, another sharp pullback, got pretty much a bounce off 39, basically, very close. And I mean, we're still hanging out. So I'm not bearish per se on Bitcoin, but I am at a point where I'm just sitting back and watching because yes, we are in this extremely, what you could say, bullish territory, and it looks like on the surface level, Bitcoin wants to break out to the top side. But for the sake of not letting yourself get faked out, I'm trying to also be realistic here. And I'm thinking if everyone was in agreement that we already hit the bottom and we're up here to take off, more people would be buying in, and it wouldn't be taking 3 days of just trading sideways here to get up another $1,000 at least. We keep topping out at 41. Under 41. So what that means, if you look here, we actually haven't even made a new high compared to the last swing high. So we've actually made a lower high on this run up than we did the time before. This time was off Elon saying 50% clean energy mining confirmed. We'll take you guys back as payment for Tesla. And this one was off the hype that Amazon could be accepting Bitcoin for purchases by the end of the year. We've made a lower high so far than the last little piece of news. I just don't know how convinced I am that we are where we need to be and that everybody is in. I can't say I am that convinced. A little bit of a bull flag starting to shape up here though. So we could see me get proved wrong, but I think what I really am waiting for is for us to break above 41,000 and actually start 41,354 right here was the previous swing high. To flip actually bullish here, I need to at least, and I'm saying not just, obviously we're in bullish price action territory. We're up at the top side. But I'm saying bullish from here forward. So bigger picture, heading up here, I think we at least need to break above 41,354 and make a new high. Until that happens, I just see this as resistance that we are not strong enough to get to and pass. That's where we're sitting right now. And then once we pass that, we still have to get above this orange line, this last barrier, which is right about 42,584. That's our last piece of resistance. Once we break above that, we're in uncharted territory, and that could be Bitcoin 50, 55. That'll bring Dogecoin back into 30s, back towards 40 pretty quick. And that will be great. But we'll see what happens with this bear flag here that's forming. It would be nice to see this play out. And by the end of today, or maybe into tomorrow, if this bear flag does play out, I mean, then we could end up breaking into that confirmation territory where, and once we break above here, we might see some additional momentum and then confirms breaking above the orange. Maybe even not. Maybe we pull back one time and then come back and confirm that we're good. But once we confirm we're good above this orange line, I think that's when you'll start seeing insane momentum to the top side and us not come back down here. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. Now, as we flip to Dogecoin, yeah, Dogecoin is just, here's the thing. Dogecoin got a bit of a hype run up earlier today, and so it is selling off a bit. That's really all we're seeing. And it's doing fine. It's not doing bad at all. We've got a bit of an inverse head and shoulders trying to form here. But it's actually doing okay. So we started this morning where? Somewhere around here. Yeah, right here. This is about where we started. So we had a sell-off, but coming into like this morning, last night, we were down at about 2020. And we've moved up on the event that happened earlier. You could tell by the thumbnail what I'm talking about. And so that boosted us up. The little rumor buy-in boosted us up about 1.5 cents. Just exactly what we thought. About 1.5 cents, 2 cents. Then we sold off as the event started. Then we got a little bit of hype during the event. And then here's the post-event sell-off. But since we didn't even go up that far, there was not that far to sell off in the first place. And that's why this was a low-risk play that I said everybody should take advantage of. It's basically a free cent of profit because you know it's going to run up. But since it's also not going to run up very far, you know there's not that much room to the downside. So I don't know who that was. Whoops. So there's that. Hang on one sec. I don't know who this is, but they're repeat calling me. So can you give me 1 second, guys? Thank you. Sorry about that. Had to handle that call, but we're back. All right. So at this point in the last 7 days, Bitcoin up 25, Doge up 8. Yeah, I've learned. And here's the thing: the reason for that is Bitcoin's the one that got the good news, not Dogecoin, not really Ethereum. It was Bitcoin that got the good news via that event, the B word event. So I would expect them to have been the ones that ran up the most. But the problem is that it's obvious that Doge, Ethereum, and the other alts didn't believe that this move was going to be sustained because they really didn't move up with Bitcoin. So I'm saying I'm not surprised Bitcoin went up the most, but then when you see that major percentage difference, that tells you something about what the market believes is really going to happen here. Because if you don't see people buying into the hype, the Bitcoin's going to recover hype, that tells you that they don't believe it's going to happen. John says 63,900 Doge. Wow, that's a lot of money, man. Michael said, by the way, once we go near $1, you're going to have a lot of money in the bank. That's awesome. By the way, Ethereum up 18% too. Doge underperforming. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Preezy? Elon will accept Bitcoin for Tesla once Bitcoin reaches 50% clean energy mining as a whole. And he said they may be close to that already. He has to do some more research into it. So it could be right around that time where he's going to accept them back, but he needed some kind of confirmation. So it should be coming soon, guys. That's what he said during the B-word event, that he thinks they're pretty close, but he needs to double check. So that could be a month, 2 months. Very short term. And meanwhile, now we also have the Amazon rumors. So once we get both of those confirmations, then Bitcoin starts making new highs, $70,000, $80,000, and heads towards its target, which was supposed to be $100,000 by the end of the year. And those two announcements will just propel Bitcoin back on target. 10 cents. Deficiency. What's up, John? John says Tesla still hasn't bought any Doge according to the earnings call. I didn't actually see the earnings call, but yeah, I don't think Tesla owns any Doge yet. All that Elon said during the B-word event was that Tesla holds Bitcoin. He didn't say they hold Doge. I don't expect them to hold Doge quite yet. I think Doge needs to finish with the Doge Ethereum bridge. Doge needs to get those updates and get it on to track to where it needs to be accepted by Tesla first before they buy in, because that would be a major risk and waste of money if it wasn't confirmed to be good to go yet. So that's where we're at. Yeah, but here we have Dogecoin doing a bit of this inverse here, and it looks like it wants to fill this out. What's probably going to end up happening here, whether it goes now or over a little bit of time, you're going to see this price action end up back up here, in my guess. And that means on Bitcoin, what would have happened was Bitcoin makes a move back up to near 41,000 here, as it kind of does the same thing. And this could be another stab at making a new high. Bitcoin, the thing is, Bitcoin's too weak to do it, but it keeps trying over and over again. Now, that's good short term, but if it happens, when you see a price hit a level too many times and keeps like reinforcing the fact that it's hard to get through, like slamming against the ceiling but not breaking through over and over and over and over again, eventually people get discouraged and they're like, okay, it doesn't look like we're breaking through, so I'm going to go ahead, close my position, and just take profit here, because at this rate, you know, we've hit 3, 4, 5, 6 times, keep bouncing off the same spot. It's unlikely on try 7, 8, 9, or 10 that anything's going to change. And that's when you see prices starting to reverse after you've hit a level too many times, because people give up. So we'll see what happens here, but I mean, we've already gotten up here pretty close. Maybe 1 or 2 more times here is pretty much all that I would give Bitcoin before people start selling. I'm not particularly bearish or bullish. I see the perspective here from both angles, but I will say I tend to trade options at this point on like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I can only really take an option position when I have a strong feeling about what's going to happen next. So if I can decisively say the price action looks like it's clearly going to go in one direction, and that means that when I place an options trade like that, my advice to you is probably even more solid, because I'm kind of betting on it myself. That's how confident I am. At this point, I have no position, and I won't be placing a position either. I would not feel comfortable buying a put here, because we keep holding support at 40,000 and trying to bang on the door 41. And I also would not be buying a call here, because we keep banging on the door 41 and not breaking through. So, and it looks like volatility is low. So at this point, I think we're at another coin flip moment where it's like, you can, if you want to, just have that 20-cent average on Dogecoin. There's not really a problem with buying in and having that position, and then just knowing where you're going to cut it if things start going down. And that should be pretty close by. But at the same time, there's no buy or sell signal here quite yet. We're getting mixed signals. Inverse here, a little bit of weakness here. On a different time frame, a bit of a bull flag. If anything, I think we should still probably be just a bit bullish and respect what Bitcoin's doing and not be naive, right? And not be too biased either. Bitcoin is doing its thing. It's holding at levels that it wasn't at before. This rumor is still holding. So if anything, I'd probably be like 51% bullish versus being bearish. But just also, if I did place an entry, keeping a very close eye out and be ready to cut if I'm wrong. So when it comes to Ethereum right now, let's take a look. Very neutral here, right under 2,300. So not much to say here about Ethereum, honestly. But let's take a quick moment and talk about the Doge ETH bridge conversation earlier. So I was a little, just like with the B-word event, I think what's really important is making sure you directly ask the right questions and the important questions to the right people and give them the time to answer it. If they don't answer it the way it needs to be answered, I feel like a follow-up question should be asked to get the answer out of them that we are looking for. And in my opinion, when you have these events where because what ended up happening was people started complaining after it ended that the questions kind of sucked. Well, Ross Nicoli, the Dogecoin dev, said, well, guys, sorry, but I'm actually the one that wrote the questions for her. So it wasn't her coming up with the questions, even though people got annoyed by her. It was already scripted out. Now, at the end, where they were like freestyling it, and she was asking Vitalik about like, what do you do for fun? What games do you play? That stuff, that was probably her. But the actual crypto-related questions, those were written by Ross Nickel himself. So that just, can't blame anyone for that but him. But I will still say that the questions I would have liked to see answered and just get more detail on was dive a little bit more into what's the time frame of the ETH bridge conversation. Dive a little more into that. Try and get just something to nibble on. What they did instead was they kind of answered or asked the question, but they left it at, we don't really know. Well, we don't really know? Can you give us some kind of like, how far along are you? Give us a percentage of how far along you think that you are. Something for the Dogecoin community to go off of and get a hint of, right? Because it's not fun being left in the dark. Now, there are some things that are happening on Ethereum's side that's pretty cool. And one of those was the EIP 1559 or something, one of those numbers. You guys know what I'm talking about. But basically what they said was with that update, there was going to be some kind of coin burn that was going to be able to happen. So with the transaction fees, a portion of it would get recirculated, but a portion of them would actually just be forever burned. And that if there was enough transactions going on, that if the burn rate or the coins being burned could outweigh the coins being created and rewarded to the miners, that Ethereum could end up being somewhat deflationary. Now that's a big implication, and that in itself could make the price and the value 5059. Okay, that in itself could make the value of Ethereum go up and skyrocket. So I think Ethereum, like if you're not invested in Doge Digger, oh you saw that? Yeah, FPF, I don't think he's here right now, but he said, if you make a Doge Digger shirt, he's like, I'll grab that. I said, you know what? I told you guys I take custom requests, and if it's decent enough, it'll end up on the store. Or if I think it's interesting enough. If not, I could just do a one-on-one and just send it to you. But it's up there on the store right now. That and this shirt I'm wearing. But with the 5059, hey Gasell, Ethereum or Doge? Depends. Doge short term, Ethereum longer term, really. I think that's the quickest answer. But I was talking about with Ethereum, the 5059 update is basically that's going to be an Ethereum related thing. And if Dogecoin bridges to ETH, one of the main things about that is Doge can take advantage of the things that Ethereum can take advantage of. So who knows? Now, I'm not saying Dogecoin's going to get burned, and I don't think it will, and I don't really think it needs to. I think what needs to happen is Dogecoin just get more acceptance. What time do you close? And you always get me when I'm at work? Oh, man. Probably like 30 minutes, man. Sorry about that. I don't think it will, but what I'm saying is with Ethereum, that could greatly increase the price of an ETH per ETH. Because now you're getting into a territory where just naturally over time, scarcity of ETH increases. So that puts you into territory, you know, Bitcoin isn't being burned, but you know what I mean. Limited supply. And the supply would become more and more limited over time. So that could be huge for Ethereum. So you combine that, which will inevitably increase the price of ETH, because ETH would become more rare and there'd be less of it over time, the more that it's used. And then you've also got the Doge to ETH bridge, which is going to give not only Dogecoin more popularity and features, but then it's going to give ETH more exposure, Ethereum. And then on top of that, you've got ETH2 coming next year, which is going to kind of solidify its spot as first place. Now, there's a lot of competition, but ETH2 is going to be massive. So ETH doesn't even have a solid date for ETH2, so I don't know why people expected more information on the Doge ETH timeline. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I guess we would need to know when ETH2 is coming first before we could really start to get the idea of Doge ETH. But they what they said though was that, and this is why I'm a little conflicted and confused on the whole idea, because they said, like, don't quote me on this and don't hold me to this, but I think one of the two things that we'd like to see is Doge running on proof of stake, and then Dogecoin also, what was the other thing? What was it? Being just times being way faster, block times, something like that. The thing is, if we're not bridging over and using proof of stake and running on ETH2, I have a lot of questions and concerns about, well, what's the short, let's just say we merged onto ETH network now. What's the point, and where do we start to see benefits immediately? I don't really know, because right now, the way we're set up, kind of bridged over to Litecoin, I mean, the way we're set up right now, we have relatively decent block times, like they're not bad. And then also the fees aren't so bad either. And there's already an update that's about to get pushed live that will reduce the fees and reduce them to 1% of what they are right now. So 1/100th of a Doge instead of 1 Doge per transaction. So that already gets really cheap. And so my question still stands on bridging to ETH with in current state. Does it bring more more pros than it does cons. And I don't know if the answer to that question is yes. I always get concerned about the increased, like the mining fees that we have to deal with when you do a transaction on the Ethereum network, when you're using a decentralized exchange and you want to trade an ERC20 token out for something else. It's like, okay, to complete this transaction, you're going to have to pay the mining fee of $6.99 or $20 if the network's busy, or $40 if the network's slammed. It's like, who wants to deal with that? On Dogecoin's network, we've never encountered that. So I just don't know. I don't know. Of course, I'm excited because Ethereum's the big player, the big dog, and so that could mean a lot of potential for Dogecoin, but just in current state, But, I mean, yeah, that is true. Freezy makes a good point. But, I mean, we always go into these events like a little hyped, right? A little overhyped, hoping to get something. But, hey, Sadu. No, not too much. Just talking about Bitcoin. It's hanging on, doing all right, but it's not breaking into new territory yet. I'm a little surprised because if we're like confirmed to be most likely going to reverse here, you would have expected to see some more whales buying in and really supporting that move. But we've stalled out at 40. I think that's a little strange, and we keep hitting resistance under 41,000. So that's also strange. So that was that. Dogecoin's lagging behind. Shocker. Ethereum's doing a little better. Also not surprised. And then just kind of complaining about the event earlier. It was all right, but they didn't really tell us too much new. Same for the B-word event. I think the main takeaway from that event, in case we did not really know before, was that there is active development. Active development on the bridge. And that it is probably 99% chance that it's going to happen. So I don't know if it's really a question of if Doge is going to bridge to ETH anymore as much as like when and what can we expect. So, and another thing was the what can we expect. They didn't really have a whole bunch of exciting answers for us either. So there was that too. I wish that question was dove into a little more, because that's really what we care about. Like, if you can't tell us when, tell us, like, get us hyped about what we can expect. What new features can we take advantage of? They really could have capitalized on that a lot. Mentioned NFTs, mentioned smart contracts, mentioned DEX availability. They just didn't. I was a little disappointed. Now, we can assume those things, but it would have been nice to have some confirmation. Soma was flirting with Vitalik. Yeah, not Roz. Definitely an ETH. She definitely was. Yeah, that was interesting. Now we've got the Doge Digger shirt on my website in honor of that event. How do I feel about Cardano? Cardano is great, and Cardano is going to give ETH a run for its money. It already kind of is, but the problem is whenever you're the market leader, the big dog, the ones that want to give you competition, they've got catch up to do. So, for example, all these layer 2 solutions and programs that are already running on the ETH network, Cardano has to at least get somewhat close to that size and popularity to actually be competitive. And usually, until you're deemed competitive, it's really hard to get people like on board to start supporting your project. So you end up lagging behind, and then sometimes it even gets it's a little difficult to do what you want to do on that secondary network because it doesn't have all the programs that the primary network has. One thing I think easiest comparison for me in that regard would be Apple to Android. Not now, but think years ago when you got an Android device, you may have thought that fundamentally, technically, whatever, it was better, it could do more, you could customize more, you can hack it and run custom software, whatever. But then you get an iPhone, yeah, it's a little more, it could be a little sluggish, very rigid, but it's the big dog, it's got all the support, it has better apps. You know that if you get on the iPhone, you can probably get what you need to get done and get it done the right way. Whereas when you switch to Android, because of the lack of the same kind of development in the app space, you might have to do a lot of workarounds to complete the same tasks, or just have difficulty, because then you have to figure out like, well, how can I do this? What I could do easily on Apple, but now it's a little more difficult on Android. I have to work with what we've got, which is less. That's the problem. That's the hurdle you have to overcome. And until the developers see Cardano as an Apple versus an Android, they're going to tend to keep doing their development on the Apple, the more popular big dog. On top of that, you've also got Ethereum, who has that, what is it, Solidity language for programming already written out, which also takes me back to the same explanation. Apple was usually a bit easier to code on than Android. And so now they've got this easy coding language versus Cardano's. So there's a lot of hurdles there. But I'm not saying Cardano doesn't have the potential to overtake and that it won't overtake. But I'm just saying there's still a lot of ways to go. But all that tells you is that if you believe in Cardano, you should probably invest in it because it has a way to go. Versus Ethereum, which is kind of pushing the ceiling. It's already at resistance. You've got these lower market cap guys that could have plenty of room to expand quickly and then catch up to Ethereum and then push at resistance. So price-wise, market cap. What's next event-wise? That's a good question. Anybody know? Honestly, I've been so locked in on the B word and then the one that happened today that I'm blanking. So if anybody knows what our next event is, please remind me. Vitamin butter, man. Jeez. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Someone got it. Yeah. And thank you for subscribing to thanks to Mikey. Appreciate that support. Thank you. One second. All right. Next event's the bottom. Oh, that doesn't sound great. We have Doge 1 that's not happening till early 2022. Yeah. What's up, Mr. Quacky? Next event's the bottom. That's pretty bearish, bro. Jonathan says, any truth in Burger King accepting Doge and selling Doge doggy bones with meals for Doge dog owners? I haven't heard that yet, but I'm sure that's going to spread around Twitter and we're going to try and make that happen. But I haven't heard. We also have hopes that Tesla will accept Doge. Yeah. So as far as like scheduled events, I don't think we have anything right now. I think the next event that I kind of want to look forward to, and this isn't going to be necessarily good, but it could be, but it probably won't be. But the next event I want to cover maybe is going to be the next time that the Fed kind of has a meeting and they discuss crypto regulations and what they've figured out and decided on. Because depending on the extent of the regulations they announce and how intrusive they are and how annoying they are to deal with and how it affects financials, that could either create a whole bunch of FUD and scare people and make them get out of the crypto space, or it could relieve people's anxiety and eliminate some of the FUD that's circulating right now, being that we know they're already discussing cracking down on crypto and we don't know what that means. So if they can just kind of confirm that, all right, it's not going to be so bad, nothing to worry about, people might feel more comfortable buying in and we could probably see a little bit more of a bull run. So I'd like to see that event. We'll see if they actually do anything with regulation, but right now it's a lot of talk. But one of them seemed pretty serious. What to expect from EIP 1559? Mostly just Ethereum token burn is what they discussed earlier. So the ability for tokens to be burned. So when someone does a transaction, let's just say you send ETH to a friend as a donation. The transaction fees, a portion of those obviously go to the miners, but then a portion of them just get permanently burned forever, which decreases the circulating supply or helps combat the increase of circulating supply, right? So it could potentially, with enough use, create a deflationary scenario for Ethereum. So that's what's coming in EIP 1559. That was the main thing they discussed. I'm sure there's some other stuff as well, but they didn't really talk about it. And I don't know off the top of my head. But that's going to be pretty big for Ethereum, and then the next big thing for Ethereum is going to be ETH2. But I think that's a great start, especially if we see a lot of transactions and start seeing more coins being burned than get produced for miners. That would be crazy. If the Bitcoin day candle closes above 39,600, we have good news, correct? Let's take a look. Yeah, so if this can close above this line right here, so basically what you said, like the 39-ish thousand level, honestly, if just this green can close just really above 40,000, it really needs to move up further than that, though. What you don't really want is like a doji candle up here, to be honest. You want a more decisive candle. So if this could close closer to 41,000, that would really be great. Honestly, I don't feel comfortable with it closing right here. Then you have a doji, and that's usually a sign of indecision. A lot of times, if that's at a high or a low, it signals a reversal as people start to lose that momentum, and they're like, and then you see another doji, and people are like, and then it goes back up. So that was my thought, Terry. I would assume so, because now we're going to be running on the Ethereum network, so I would assume anything that Ethereum can do, we could take advantage of. So, but that being said, I don't think there will be a Doge burn, but of course that's not really for me to speculate, because even what they said was what they need to do is get together and have like a meeting with some of the people in the Doge space and figure out like what do we actually want to do, what do we actually want to accomplish, and leave that up to kind of the community, and then work on developing the coin into that direction. So me saying I don't think it's going to happen right now means absolutely nothing, because it's going to be up to whatever's decided. Now, I don't really think it's necessary, because with a cryptocurrency like this, the goal, at least to start with, is widespread adoption. If we get widespread adoption, the circulating supply and the amount that is produced for miners and for the block rewards is not actually that high when you compare, like, if this really became a global thing and everybody used Dogecoin, having 100 or a couple hundred billion of coin in circulation. For example, the US just printed $2 trillion for stimulus. We have in circulation about a tenth of that total in Dogecoin circulating. And that was one package. We're not counting the money that's already out there. So there's really not even enough Dogecoin to go around if it was to become a global thing. So I don't know that we need a burn. Just adoption. But everyone likes the idea of a burn because they start associating it with fast money. Oh, if we just start burning tokens, the value of ours will go up quickly. I'm thinking a little longer term. Like, do we really need it? I don't think so. Dogecoin button. You're crazy, man. Appreciate you. The way that people are about their dogs in America, that would be a hit. It's facts. I saw it. Yeah, it would. El Salvador, that's a good question. Let's take a look at that. Hopefully Burger King here in the US will. 3 Doge for a bone. That's a great deal. That's like 30 cents. 60 cents. Oh, really? Burger King in Brazil? That's awesome. Right, Doge Palooza on October 9th. Oh, Cuban and Musk. Awesome. That's great. That's really great. That could be huge. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Adoption's key. Yeah. Make the doggy menu. So yeah, that's where we're at, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, we're still seeing some bullish attempts here. I like it. That's the advert. Gotcha. So until Tesla buys Doge, we're not even close to acceptance. Like you said, man, we're far away. Yeah, that's the thing. We are far away. Our nearest catalyst, the thing we really need here, like the thing we truly need, is just Bitcoin to recover and pull us back up to like 40, 50, 60 cents. We'll be just fine if we can stabilize off of Bitcoin's momentum back to when it recovers and it gets another $20,000 boost here. We don't necessarily need right now Dogecoin for Tesla. Now, obviously, that will skyrocket the price of Doge way beyond that. But we could get other announcements. You know, we could get Tesla. We can get other retailers. We don't need necessarily Dogecoin for Tesla right now. But that is probably one of our second biggest catalysts. I think first largest would probably be Amazon. But it would be very close to Tesla because Elon Musk is kind of the Doge leader, and so that would also have an effect on the announcement. So I think it would be a tie between Amazon and Tesla. But we don't necessarily need Tesla, but what we do need for us to double our money, triple our money, anything more conservative like that before we get to $1 is Bitcoin to get good news from Tesla or Amazon confirmed that it's being accepted again. And that will boost the price back up to where we came from. And that will drag Dogecoin up about 20, 30, 40 cents. And that's more than enough, I think, to make a substantial amount of money. And then everything after that will just be even better. But yeah, keep an eye on Ethereum. Keep an eye on AMP. Those are other good investments, in my opinion, that are not sketchy, that are not just YOLO, gamble, 50-50 coin flip or less percentage coin flip your money and see what happens. Baby Doge, safe Doge, Rocket, whatever. These are actually established, fundamentally decent cryptocurrency projects that have a purpose, that will continue to have a purpose, and that will, for that reason, continue to increase in value. And they also have the plus side of being a cryptocurrency that's volatile, so you can still make money. It's not like throwing your money into the S&P 500 where you have to come back in 20 years and then see a 20% gain after 20 years of waiting. You still are going to make 2x, 100%, 300%, 500% your money within a year or two, but in a more guaranteed way that makes sense versus doing a whole bunch of gambling and potentially losing money. So just have to have that self-control and desire to research a bit. Doge will hit 50 cents when Bitcoin gets back up to like 65,000. Or maybe a little beyond that. Depends on how Doge reacts to the recovery. Or maybe not even that much. Because before Dogecoin was about 1 cent to $1,000 on Bitcoin. So there was a time where Bitcoin would be 40,000, Dogecoin would be 40 cents. So it just depends on how the alts react to the recovery here. Yeah, I heard Jeff Bezos did step down and isn't with Amazon anymore as well. So that's interesting. And like he's going to go focus more on space exploration or something. It's kind of strange, but okay. Trying to be the next Elon. Got to start buying on Gemini. Anyone heard any more on Robinhood wallets? I have not heard any additional news. I think the problem for them, and I feel pretty confident in this, the problem is that Robinhood makes their money off of people executing trades. When you give someone a wallet, you incentivize them not to trade anymore and to hold instead. Now, the reason I said that was a catalyst was because Robinhood is arguably the most popular and accessible exchange that is kind of out there right now in the places where it's available. It's easy to use. It's made for beginners to intermediate, and even people that are a little more advanced tend to use it because of how simple and quick it is, and you really don't have to think about much, and it just kind of works. With that, you have the most amount of probably new traders on Robinhood using Robinhood to trade, to buy and sell their Dogecoin. So when you give those people a wallet to hold their Dogecoin in, you kind of incentivize them. Well, here's a third option. Yes, before you could buy and you could sell. So we kind of forced you down the path of buy low and eventually sell high to make money, because there's no other purpose in buying than to sell at some point. When you give them a wallet, you then give them this second option. So instead of selling, what you can do is transfer it to your wallet. When you do that, you reduce the amount of trading that happens. So that's great for the price of Dogecoin because there's going to be less selling pressure since you're giving people another thing to do other than sell. You're incentivizing them to do something else other than selling. And so the price of the Doge would probably go up pretty significantly, being that most of Dogecoin buyers are on Robinhood. That could have one of the biggest effects short term. But then you are also losing Robinhood money when you do that because Robinhood is free and they make commissions on the back end from like market makers and whatnot for retail traders executing trades. So if they're reducing selling pressure and reducing trading volume, they're directly screwing over their own wallet. So we'll see what happens, but that would be massive for Dogecoin. So obviously I don't care about Robinhood's bank account. I care about us. So let's see it. What's up, Ryan? Is that true, Chasmindu? That'd be pretty big. Right, that too, and it's potential for them to lose business because a lot of people, like, let's just say some of you guys, for example, the reason you're still on Robinhood is not necessarily because you love them, but it's because your money's tied up in them and your Doge is tied up in that money. And you don't necessarily want to sell right now. But if you had an option to not sell and have to deal with capital gains if you were really planning to do more of a long-term hold, and instead just export your Doge to another wallet, would you do it? And if you do, Robinhood just lost a customer. And they probably know there's a lot of people wanting to get away. So there's more problems for Robinhood than there's not. Losing money and losing customers, which also loses them money. It would be great for us, not great for them. But at the same time, if they don't do it, they'll probably lose customers as retail traders get more informed and understand, I want my Dogecoin, I want to be able to spend it, and to do that, Robinhood's not allowing me to do it. So they've got a dilemma on their hands to figure out and how they can remain equally profitable with this move. What do I think of the Doge Ethereum discussion? Was slightly disappointed. I thought it was okay. They talked some nice things about Ethereum, but I don't really feel like they gave as many details as they could have on the Doge bridge and why we should be excited for it. All they really said was layer 2 potentially taking advantage of sharding. So basically that would just allow way more transactions to be executed in a short amount of time, but that's going to be with ETH2 unless somehow we tied into a layer 2 solution. And then yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it. And then also the proof of stake, which is also directly translates to reduce fees and faster, whatever. So basically what we already knew. They really didn't expound on, and I don't necessarily know what all they could have said, but I feel like, I mean, it was an early event. If you're in the UK, even still, it was 10 a.m. But if you're anywhere else, it was like 2 in the morning. I feel like they could have hyped it up a little bit more and really targeted the Dogecoin community with their answers. Like, what can the Dogecoin community expect to see? What features should they be excited for when there is the bridge? And I don't think we really got the answers we could have there. So a little disappointed as well. Cointelegraph says 2,500 Chinese miners went there. Wow. Yeah, I did read before that some miners were looking to find a new way to start mining, so I'm not surprised. I heard that like 2 weeks ago. I didn't have that detail, but I did hear that they were looking for a way to continue, which makes sense. Yeah, staking, that's what I was thinking too. Some really high APR staking or something. They got to figure something out. I agree, 100%. Chris says we need an Elon tweet to skyrocket us. Yeah, it's going to have to be a good Elon tweet or it's not going to do anything. Elon tweets don't do much for Dogecoin when Dogecoin's not doing that well. So definitely moving mine from their platform. Yeah, and there's going to be plenty of people like you. So there's going to be a big surge of, losing business. They're already in hot water because of what they keep doing when there's a lot of activity. They keep like removing the buy and sell buttons or they keep crashing conveniently. Like people want off. So giving people a way to export and leave is kind of probably one of the last things they want to do until they can figure out a good way to keep people from doing it, just from a business perspective. So, by the way, guys, I just wanted to show this shirt real quick. I know some of you are interested, some are not. All right, if you're not, I apologize, but this is the shirt I just finished making. It's the matte black Doge, but it's in it's matte black on black. I had this print job, well, kind of, not really, but I collabed with an outside print shop to make sure it was done right, because I had a solution that I was using and it just wasn't, I didn't like it. It felt cheap, it didn't look good, but this one was very expensive, but it looks pretty good and it feels good. So anyway, I'll just show it real quick for those that care and are interested. So there's the shirt. There it is. Matte black Dogecoin. I think it's pretty cool. I was wearing it out, and it looks washed out on my camera. Obviously, it's a webcam, but it's deep black. Probably one of my favorites now. Then there's also the Do Good Everyday one. Hashtag Do Good Everyday in white and gold on black. And then To the Moon, the small Doge over there. A lot of stuff on the store now, so. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, Namdi. Definitely, yeah. Discounts on goods and services when purchasing items with Doge could help mainstream adoption. I agree with you 100%. I agree. And even what I tried to do on my store was figure out a discount for it, but I couldn't quite do it. But yeah, that would be... That's what I was thinking too. When you discount, make it like incentivize people to pay with Dogecoin. So, 5% off or something like that. Yeah, those did seem to be kind of the backseat conversation. It was a weird stream. Should we call it Black Widow? Yeah, it was weird. They talked about Dogecoin, and then I'd say like 55% of the stream they were just talking about random stuff, like making conversation. It was strange. I don't know. I didn't like it. It was a good time hanging out with everybody, but it definitely could have been better. Now, what Ross said, because people were complaining that the question sucked, and they kind of did. But what Ross said was that basically he's like, I wrote the questions, and yeah, they were a little basic and surface level, but he wanted it to be accessible to a lot of people and didn't want the questions to be too technical and overly complicated, because he knew he was going to have a lot of kind of new people come in and watch the stream. But he said that they do a more technical, deeper dive later. So there will be another event, but probably just between him and the Doge dev, or the guy that's working on the bridge, and Vitalik, and not Soma. Yeah, gaming for some reason. Yeah, I know. Yep. Just got off work. What's going on? We soaring or crashing? Got some money to throw in a Doge? Nothing's happening right now. Basically, we're at a point where we need to see, are we going to start heading below the 200 EMA line on Bitcoin under like 37.5, or are we going to break above the 41,000 level? And no one has any idea quite yet. Yeah, I agree 100%, Travis. That stream should have been called Black... Oh, yeah, I read that one. Buy some AMP as well. What they do with Flex is going to make investors some money. Exactly. On my website right now, the only two cryptos I'm like making shirts for, and that's just the ones I believe in the most, are Dogecoin and AMP. And then I'm going to add ETH next, because that's obviously the other one. I just haven't got to it yet. A couple of ETH shirts. So basically, you check my store, you see my portfolio, really. Yes, sir, I can dig it. Yeah, I know. The bridge was not discussed enough, I don't think. Plain white t-shirt, 50% poly cotton blend that says Dogecoin across the chest in bold black letters. Bang, clean, and to the point. Is that something you'd want? I mean, what I do, guys, is I make custom requests. So if you want a specific shirt, as long as it's not like hey, can you Photoshop this design and make, you know, a 50 color mural? As long as it's nothing like that, like what Terry said, I can make those for you. So let me know. Travis says, not asking Vitalik technical questions is like only driving a Ferrari into school zone. True. Are whales holding ammo to fire off soon? I think so. And I think they're just waiting to see if we break above 42,000. But the fact that we haven't done so quite yet just tells me that the whales aren't really... They can't be in yet. Because the whales selling brought us down $30,000. The whales buying shouldn't move us up $7,000. You know what I mean? There's some people here that are not in. John says, going to check out your merch, bro. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Let me know if you need anything. You can also ask questions on the chat there that pops up. That does actually go to me. So I will respond to you there if you need anything too. I'll give you guys an extra coupon code if you want to use it. Once the stream ends, I'm going to go back to... I've got some orders to fulfill. So if you order today, your order will get shipped out today with those multiple orders I have to ship out. So subscribe 5 promo code. If you use that promo code, you get 5% off of your total order. And then I also have a built-in promotion that you don't have to do anything for. So this will be on top of that, to where if you order 2 or more shirts in an order, you will get free shipping. Now the shipping is actually $6. So that's actually a lot of money off. It'll say $3, but that's because I had already agreed to pay half of it. So you get free shipping and 5% off with that coupon code if you want, with 2 items or more. And about where he goes on vacation, yeah, it got really weird. Asking him like where she should go and what does he do in his spare time. Not asking Ross or the other person. I mean, to each their own, shoot your shot by all means, but it was still, I don't know. It felt uncomfortable because the other 2 guys were just there like, we're not a part of this conversation anymore. What just happened? She's living her best life. Ross didn't write the questions, he's just defending her. Maybe. That would be funny. That'd be pretty stand-up, though, because she was getting a lot of hate pretty fast. Don't want to ruin her career. I don't think she was that bad, though. It just was... The Doge, crypto community, they are hungry for news, hungry for information, and anxious, right? And so when you have someone that does not deliver, even though I don't think it was terrible what she did, she just did not deliver what we wanted and felt we needed, question-wise. And so that's what I think just made everybody mad. If we weren't expecting anything and we were just watching this event, I don't think it was that bad. Yeah. I would like to have this stream go just a couple more minutes here because I want to see what's going to happen. This almost looks like it wants to dump here, but we'll see. Hey, thank you, John. Appreciate that. Yeah, let me know if you, yeah, check it out. Let me know if there's something different that you need or want. But yeah, I've got a lot of stuff up there now, so. And sizes. I have like every size, too. I think I heard MasterCard was getting involved in crypto in some way. I would not be surprised. What I don't like, though, is these centralized banks and companies trying to get their hands into decentralized technology. Obviously, it makes sense because they don't want it to get phased out. They want to transition, but it starts to... Now you have centralized, decentralized programs. It doesn't really make sense anymore, so... But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It only makes sense from a business perspective. You can't fall behind. Yo, what's up, Alex? John, she must be smirking. She was slobbing on Vitalik while we all... Jeez. My chest is like 52 to 54. Do I list the sizes specifically? Let me see. Let me double check that for you 1 second. That sounds like... I don't know if that's XL or... I think that's 2XL. But let me double check. Give me just a moment. What's up, Bear? Via NCR? Oh, NCR. Okay. I did actually hear about NCR. Master Visa card NCR? All three? Yo, what's up? What did I miss out on? Not much. Bitcoin, we're just keeping an eye on it to see what's going to happen next. It kind of looks like it wants to sell off right here. I don't know. We'll see. But we're just trying to see if we're going to break 41,000 Bitcoin. That would kind of spark the bull run here. We're really close, but we're out of steam again. So, yeah, Travis, if it was me, I would have asked for fans to come up with good questions. Yeah, I would have too. I thought, yeah, definitely let the fans ask a couple questions and see if we can get some answers. Honestly, the questions would have been better than the ones that were asked. The asked questions didn't tell us really anything new, except for give us some cool insights into, like, Vitalik talking about Ethereum, which is always nice because he's the creator of it. But other than that, it didn't quite get the job done. Smash the likes, people. Thank you, Alex. Hey, bro, just joined. Let's see. How do I think AMP is looking? So, yeah, we haven't really talked about AMP, and I didn't actually check the price action here. But let's check AMP. All right, we're going to have to go to TradingView, I guess. I think AMP's going to be doing very well today. They got some good news today, Binance acceptance. I just got that email. Yeah, look at AMP go. That's awesome. I really wanted to buy AMP a couple, like right here. I saw, actually, when was this? I saw it here about 2 weeks ago, and I almost bought. Oh, this was 1 week ago. It was at about 3 cents, 3.5 cents, and now it's at 7.5, going on 8 cents, with a spike up to almost 10, which is crazy. But I mean, AMP deserves it. AMP's a great investment, guys. If you're not in Dogecoin, I'd say AMP is probably the thing to be in. It's really what's going to bridge the gap between current cryptocurrencies that want to be spent in retail locations but currently can't because fundamentally they're not good. It bridges that gap and allows that to happen. That's why AMP is so important. It's really the only one of its kind, or at least the only one that's doing it in a great decentralized way. And it's it's good. So, but AMP's doing great today. They just got Binance news, so that's also good. What would be an ideal price target to buy into? Are you talking Dogecoin or which crypto? Yeah, no problem, Alex. Black Knight Exotics, what's up? He says, I'm a new subscriber. Hey, thanks for subscribing, man. I appreciate you supporting the channel. Happened upon stumbled across my channel from the stream this morning. Awesome. Think I'm a lifer. Nice. I like the way you do business. Thank you, man. That means a lot. Glad to have you, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next couple streams as well. We are here usually 7 days a week with at least one stream a day. Over the weekend, though, if it's really dead and nothing's happening, usually we'll just kind of call it. But usually every single weekday at the very least. Doge. Right now is not bad, but my problem is I can't really recommend a buy right now because Bitcoin's not giving us any clear indication on which direction it really plans to go in. It's like a 50% chance it goes up and breaks above 41,000 or a 50% chance that it goes down. I think based off technicals, you should be more bullish, but based off what makes sense to me, I'm a little more bearish. So I can't really say to buy here. I would, and really honestly, I don't know if I can really give a good buy target. Because if Bitcoin doesn't break, who knows what happens next? For example, do we think Bitcoin off the Amazon rumor is going to hold above 36,000 from here on out, and this will be the new trading area, and it'll just flip back to the bullish side? Because remember this white line right here, this is what we said was kind of the marker, the 35 to 36,000 range. When it's on the underside, we're bearish, overside, we're bullish. Will it just have this as new support instead of this? Or will it crash below that and get back down here and look to do a whole nother crash because we didn't break through? Because that's exactly what happened when Elon Musk news generated a lot of hype and everyone thought we were going to reverse and we stalled out at 41,000 and didn't break. When that happened, we made new lows, all-time lows. All right, we had all the way down to 28.8 off the sell-off there because people lost faith and they just all took profit. So who knows? Does that happen again? Are we strong enough off the rumor to hang out up here? Or are we strong enough off the rumor to just bounce off here and head up? I don't think anyone knows yet, but I am just a bit concerned that the whales aren't really pushing this further. So that's why I'm a little skeptical to say buy right now. But yeah, basically what Alrod said. My advice has always been anything under 25 cents is a good buy, and anything under 20 cents is a great buy. And then from there, the lower you can go, honestly, obviously the better. But without getting too greedy, I think anything 16, 17, 18 cents, you should be perfectly satisfied with, even 19, honestly. And 20 is perfectly fine, too, if you don't want to wait. Vitalik said it starts next week, but that barely gave specifics. Yeah, so that's going to be EIP, right? The 5059, 1559. That should be next week. And that will be good. So maybe Ethereum will start to see a price spike going into that. I don't know. Let's see if this worked. Okay. That messes with my symmetry. My mental. I have OCD, guys. There we go. Two small ones in the middle. There we go. White variant there. Black one here. Cool. If it drops off, I'll buy more. Nice. DNZ Motor, what's up, man? Doge is in a coma, but it still has a pulse. That's a good way to think about it. If people knew what AMP actually does, they'd be invested. Yes, exactly. AMP is great. Austin says, just hate waiting. I've missed the ball a couple times because it dropped in the middle of the night and then went back up. Yeah, I understand. The thing is, if you can't keep your eyes glued to the chart like some of us do, then it makes more sense to buy in at a price you feel is good and just be one of the holders. Yes, you'll be you'll have a red day or two or a week or two where the price might be below you. By that time, maybe you'll get another paycheck and you can average down a little bit. But the goal is to be in before it takes off. So the longer, and this is what I keep telling everybody, it's okay to be stingy and a little picky, but don't be greedy, right? And I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying in general. That's the thought process. So just like you're saying, sometimes it makes more sense to just kind of, instead of waiting and then potentially missing it and dropping the ball, buy in at a good price that you can be satisfied with. Maybe if you don't even think that's the bottom, but you just want to, just in case, be in Go in 50%, scale in. That's what that's for. And then you still have 50% of your capital to average down. You're already locked in with a lot of Dogecoin. And then if it even starts to go up a bit, you realize, oh, it's taking off. That was the bottom. You just quickly drop the rest in and your average is right about in the same spot. But when you average in like that, you also can protect yourself to the downside. Because let's say you buy in at 20 cents, 50% size, and then the price actually goes down to 10. Well, if you drop your other 50% in at 10, now your average is actually 15 cents. So really, you didn't even miss that much. So it's just playing it smart if you don't think you're at the bottom. But either way, we just don't know what's going to happen. If Bitcoin takes off here and middle of the night we're at 45,000 and we went to sleep at 40, and now Dogecoin is probably going to be near 27 cents. So, I mean, your average at that point is going to be done for. It is better to just have some. If you believe it's going to go up, that is. Subi Pilot says the ETH fork is scheduled for the 4th. Awesome. Thank you for that info, man. Where can you buy AMP? You can buy AMP on Coinbase. I know that for a fact. Coinbase app. And AMP is pretty much available anywhere. I think it also just dropped on Binance, so it should be any exchange. So, like, not Robinhood, not Webull, but basically anywhere else. Let me double check that. Make sure not Robinhood. I know not, I mean, make sure not Webull. I know not Robinhood, but I just want to. Yeah, not on Webull. Not yet. There is no bottom. There will be a bottom. We don't know what that bottom is, but there's always a bottom. And then there are new bottoms. The bottom is what you consider a bottom to be. Technically, there's never a top, never a bottom, but that's thinking eternally. Do I think there will be a large spike on AMP with the new Binance listing? I would have thought that, but I didn't see a massive spike. I think it's already, since if the price doesn't spike, I think maybe there might be a pullback coming soon. I don't know. The thing about AMP, though, is the way that they programmed it was so that it wouldn't be extremely volatile, and it would more just go up in value if people used it. The more people used it, and go down in value, the less people used it. So I wouldn't be surprised to not see a massive spike, but that's obviously a great catalyst. Yeah, Coinbase, that's where I've bought mine. When it free falls, nobody buys it. People get scared. Yeah, that's usually retails, though. That's the whole thing, though. If you guys here in this stream can differentiate yourselves and separate yourselves from the typical trading habits of retail traders, or like beginner retail traders, and play the opposite play, that's how you make money. Retail traders, they start selling when things start going down and they don't want to buy, and then they get excited and they suddenly want to buy once the price is at the top. So, a couple hours. Probably. Coinbase is better, but you can also buy it on crypto. Yeah, I don't recommend crypto.com, guys. I posted a video on it, and it's not that crypto.com is bad per se. Obviously, they're popular and they're a big name in the space, but they rip you off for Dogecoin use. And I feel like to keep things simple, honestly, most of your crypto is probably going to be purchased and exchanged through like 1 or 2 exchanges. And if Dogecoin's your main investment and you can't interact with Dogecoin on that exchange, I think it's a little counterintuitive to even mess with it. Crypto.com, they charge you about 50 Doge per transaction. That is a lot of dollars. Whereas Coinbase will charge you like 1. Bitcoin by the end of the year? Yeah, I think within the next 2 months, James. Good question. But yeah, retails, they get scared when the price drops. They sell. They don't want to buy. When the price goes up, suddenly they get excited and they get confident, and they see all these massive big candles. Ooh, we've already doubled in price. I want to buy in. And they usually buy at the top, sell at the bottom. They don't sell at the top either, and they don't buy at the bottom either. That's the difference between smart traders and beginner traders. That means when we hit a floor and you see us stabilizing there, that's your time to start scaling in when everyone else is scared. Because you know the bottom's been hit and you're probably going nowhere but up from there. And let them be the ones that buy your sell order when you take profit. Thanks, just bought 1,000 amp. Awesome. Yeah, man. If he accepts Bitcoin, then we'll make some money in Doge for sure. Oh, absolutely. And then Dogecoin will be next. Coinbase kills me in fees. The thing is with Coinbase, basically with exchanges in general, it's like you got to take it easy on the actual trade execution if you're using an exchange. Most exchanges, they will kind of get you with transaction fees if you keep executing transactions, buying and selling and buying and selling and buying and selling. Usually the easiest workaround is, instead of messing around with that too much, if you need to trade something, the cheapest route tends to be exchanging it for USDC coin. So the stable coin USDC that's tied to the US dollar. So for example, if you're in Dogecoin and you're trying to scalp a bit, if you bought low and now you want to sell and trade your money out for cash so you don't ride the wave back down because you want to sell at the top, just exchange it for USDC. Not only do you avoid capital gains that way, but usually the transaction fees will be the lowest that way. That's kind of the little hack. But yeah, Coinbase fees, other than that, they do add up. But that's why I recommend, if those fees still are too high, then if your goal is just to buy and sell, and you're trying to scalp or something, yes, those fees will add up. So in that case, Robinhood is probably your move. Because if you're scalping and that's your purpose, then Coinbase Pro, yeah, you could do that too. Austin says, I appreciate I only have about 1K to put in, but I have about 4,000 Dogecoins right now. Nice. By the way I've been thinking is, unless it goes to 17, it won't be that big of a difference, but I'm no expert. Yeah, exactly. I mean, 20 cents is good. Now, the thing is, if we pull back here, we just don't know how far will Bitcoin fall. And because we've only had one test of support here at 36, we don't know if we get another test, if it'll hold. If so, we've got a double bottom on our hands, which is nice. If not, then we're heading down into the next area, which could be a little concerning. So there is that. Yeah, no problem, Josh. So yeah, that 20 cents could go down to 18. It could go down to 15. It depends on what happens here in this next stage. Bitcoin keeps on selling off though. I personally am still bearish because I don't see the whale buy-in that I think is needed to get above 41,000 a year. I just don't see that momentum yet. Now it could come and just be delayed, which is why I'm keeping my mind open and being unbiased and trying to stay neutral. But I'm just reading it as it comes. I don't see what I'd like to see here for the actual reversal. I think people are going to get faked out here, and we come back next week, and we might be down somewhere down here. That's my guess. But we'll see. I would love to be proved wrong. We've been down here for 2 months, and it is time for a reversal. Like, come on, let's go. Doge to the moon already. Awesome. You put in a call and made 700. That's awesome, man. More of a hodler, but you'll make some trades here and there. Gotcha. Thank you all for the likes, by the way. Appreciate that. And if you're new to the channel, first time here, click subscribe. Join us for the next stream tomorrow. And then, of course, because I've got to plug it, right? It's my little hustle. Check out the website. Link is in the description at the top there, so you can just click it. You don't have to type it. myhodlwear.com. It's where I make custom Dogecoin apparel using really high quality premium 100% ring spun cotton t-shirts that are expensive, and then I customize them so that you actually have clothes that you'll want to wear and not just hang up and them be souvenirs. You know what I mean? So those things get taken off the rack and worn. And like, I wear this stuff in public too, and it's pretty cool. Doge isn't down, it's just on clearance. Exactly. Gotta respect the discount. Ascending triangle, just need confirmation, but if we dip hard. Yeah, that's always the problem, right? That's always the problem with triangles. But yeah, I'd love to go to the top side here. Either way, though, I don't, the thing is, as traders, if you're not just hodling, the thing that would frustrate you if you're a hodler, right, and you are just waiting. You're waiting for the price to go back up. When will we hit 70 cents? When will we hit $1? Then you get frustrated. If you're a trader, though, if you're buying, selling, volatility is your best friend. So you don't care which direction it goes in, as long as it does a nice big move for you to capitalize off of. It could go way down and then do a nice big bounce. You make profit there. Or if you're just, you could be trading options. Maybe you do a put. Or you just ride the wave if we break out to the top side. Either way. I have over 100% likes to current viewers. That's awesome. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. Really do. Ethereum looking like it's going on the third wave. I think so. And it only makes sense for it to, honestly. Now, yeah, we've got Bitcoin holding it back, but Ethereum's going to start. Ethereum's got some good catalysts here. It's going to have a nice little run of its own. Doge has very strong support at 20. True. That's mostly because Ethereum's got this strong support here. But yeah, I agree. Diamond hands. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When a coin is struggling, they play the Africa card. Do I diversify my portfolio with any other crypto other than Doge and AMP? Not really. Not really. I mean, I'll mess around with some stuff every once in a while. Like I mess with SHIB, but now I don't because I think I don't see positive things happen. Let's check on Shiba Inu, actually. Not that I care about it at all, but I do like to see it failing. So, as morbid as that sounds. Now, let's see. Last time I checked, Bone was about $3. That's when I sold my Bone, because I did have SHIB and then I had Bone. And there it is. It's still right now, it's right under, so it's 2.97. SHIB is still 6,000 Satoshi. Leash is still at 1,200. Okay, so it hasn't changed over the last week or two. But yeah, SHIB, that's another thing I got in. I've made a nice amount of money off SHIB volatility. And it's not because I like the coin per se, and I don't think that should need to be a disclaimer. SHIB and Doge do not compete, by the way, guys. I don't know if you know that. The SHIB ecosystem has nothing to do with Dogecoin. The only similarities are the name and the fact that people bought into SHIB to hopefully pump like Dogecoin did, kind of as a, ooh, now the Dogecoin runs over, where can we find the next hit? They went to SHIB, and SHIB was the perfect fit. But other than that, coin functionality-wise, not even remotely close to trying to accomplish the same purpose. So you can be a SHIB lover and a Doge lover, but you should not compare the two. You should not, there's just no competition there. SHIB is a coin that really serves almost no purpose, but at the same time, it's tied to the Shiba Swap exchange now. The whole ecosystem now is centered around Shiba Swap, which is a decentralized exchange, just like Uniswap and just like those other exchanges that are out there that run on Ethereum's network. Those are the things that SHIB and its associated tokens now compete with. Other DEX. Now, down the line, apparently they're going to have their own blockchain and some other stuff. Cool. Then they'll be competing with more things. But as of now, the one thing they don't compete with is Dogecoin, which is a retail-focused, buy things with, sell things with coin. SHIB token has not had any focus on that category. So you really can't say they compete. They are in their own lane. With a charity foundation card. But we'll see what happens here, guys. I mean, we are a little weak, I'll be honest. But Bitcoin likes to do that a lot and then fake out to the other side, so. We'll see. Doom, 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 doom. Alrighty, guys, let's see. Been holding Doge, kind of like comparing Doge and Baby Doge. Yeah, exactly. They're just not the same. One is made to number one, pump, right? And two, they have some other little, oh, well, we burn tokens and we have limited supply, but they're not really trying to compete. They might have similar names, and they might try and pump off similar news because they can kind of all get targeted by the same category. So if Elon posts a picture of a Shiba Inu, that means Baby Doge, Dogecoin, Papa Doge, Mama Doge, Shiba Inu, and anything else that looks like that dog can all pump together because, oh, maybe he's talking about us. That's the only thing they have in common. Fundamentally, and their end goal, nothing is the same. So they really you can't say they're competition. That's like me comparing a Lambo to a Toyota Prius. One is for fuel efficiency and reasonable travel and safety and whatnot. One is a supercar meant for performance on the track. They are both vehicles, but they're not meant to compete. They're in completely different spaces. And I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying they're just not the same category. A vehicle to a semi, or, a semi to a boat. Been holding Doge since 2018. This is normal in my eyes. This too shall pass. I agree with you. From what I've read, I think Cardano has a huge future. I agree. Cardano is one of those. There's just so many things to invest in. Sometimes you just got to lock in on a couple. That's why Cardano isn't at the top of my radar yet. But if I were to have, let's just say, a post-Dogecoin portfolio, it would probably be Ethereum 2.0 or Ethereum, so that I'm in there for ETH2 update so I can ride that wave up. Cardano, ADA, and AMP. That would be probably my ideal portfolio. And then Dogecoin, by that time, would be more of a you have it to spend it type thing, not so much you have it because it's going to keep going up in value. Dogecoin's purpose is one day to be a currency and to be spent and purchased, things purchased with. Eventually, it'll stop drastically increasing in price, somewhere around probably a couple bucks. And it'll stabilize $2, $3, $4 one day, maybe $5 in a couple years, once all market caps go up and it has more breathing room. And then people just be buying and spending Dogecoin. They won't necessarily have to feel the need to invest in it because it'll already be at its peak. Dogecoin isn't like a network, a layer 2 solution, anything crazy. So unless they change functionality of Dogecoin, it will top out at some point where other things continue to improve and get updated and do more things. Dogecoin's just a retail focused token. Plenty of room to go, but there will be a time where it slows down. All right, guys. Well, that was a good discussion. Hopefully everybody enjoyed that. I was hoping for a little more volatility so that we could discuss, the technicals a little more, but unfortunately during the stream, all we did was kind of do this downtrend here. And we didn't really get anything new to talk about as far as what I think is going to happen. Now, I can say, though, we're under the 200 EMA on the 1 minute time frame, even though we haven't really been respecting that too much anyway. We'll see what happens on this pullback to, this bounce. We'll see if we hit off of it as resistance and sell off some. I'm not feeling particularly bullish about today, but I said that yesterday and we ended up here. So I'm not even going to make a comment on what I think is going to happen. But I will just say keep an eye on the charts and we'll come back tomorrow. But the levels to keep an eye on, breaking above 41,000. If we can't do that, there's nothing new happening. So if we bounce back up to here, who cares? We need to see it break and go into the 41,000s. If that happens, now we're in new territory. Now we should be keeping our eyes peeled. At the same time, new low. If we break under 38.8 here, where are we headed? To 38 flat and beyond. So we need to keep our eyes out for under 38.8 and over 41. Anything between there, you can probably just take a nap. Austin says all of the knockoff coins are just pump and dump schemes that make the unknowing lose money. Exactly. And there's plenty of those in the stock market. Nobody in the stock market is really losing their mind over the pump and dumps, right? You have the Discord groups for the pumpers, and you have that little community that cares. You can avoid capital gains that way. Tell me more. Yeah, so just basically, John, you usually pay capital gains when you take profit, when you lock in profit, right? When you exchange a cryptocurrency for another cryptocurrency at current value, you're not really locking in profit because you're trading one asset for another asset of the same value. So you're technically not making money. Does that make sense? And so being that USDC coin, a stable coin, is not the actual US dollar, it's just a coin that is pegged to the value of the US dollar. So it doesn't fluctuate with the market. It stays at 1. That means you paid with fiat cash, right? Let's just say you paid $1,000 in cash. Then with that cash, you bought Dogecoin at 10 cents. Dogecoin went up to 20 cents. So now your Dogecoin's worth $2,000 instead of $1,000. But now you're just trading your 1,000 Dogecoin for 2,000 USDC token. There is no profit being taken there. You're just trading it for another coin that happens to be worth $1 each. And that coin, since it stays at $1, it lets you lock that in and avoid the market volatility. So you can basically sell at some point for USDC and then wait for the market to like sell off your coin to pull back. So let's just say you sold Bitcoin and sold it at 40,400. And you exchange it for USDC. So now you have 40,400 USDC, which is always going to be $1 worth per token. And then Bitcoin falls all the way back down here to 30,000. And now you can swap your 40,000 USDC and get even more Bitcoin because it's tied to the US dollar. Right. And so when you, exactly what Josh said. So technically, you have not realized gains if you're just exchanging for other cryptocurrencies. So that's where the stable coins come in play. They let you work around that. You're not realizing any gains until you change it back for cash, or in some cases, like you spend it, and if they can track that you like purchased a good that's worth more than what you initially paid for the Dogecoin, it gets a little complicated. But that's the easiest way to avoid capital gains. Just sell your thing, not for fiat, not for cash, but trade it for like USDC. And then when you want to buy back, just exchange it from USDC to whatever coin you want to buy back into. Oh no, not the old SHIB. And yes, that's correct. John. That is correct. Do I feel, as long as you don't change it back out for cash or go spend it somewhere like with using BitPay or something, because they also exchange it for cash. I'm pretty sure you also avoid capital gains if you spend your Doge. And I need some clarification on this, but like on my website, I think you also can avoid capital gains if you like buy something with the crypto because you're just sending it to my wallet. Now, I'll have to research that more because they do kind of tie what you're sending to what you're getting, but I think that goes untaxed as well, like capital gains, because it's like if you sent your Dogecoin or something to another wallet, you wouldn't get capital gains for just moving it around to different hands. So either holding it, switching it out to USDC, or peer-to-peer, like paying in that cryptocurrency on a site where they accept that currency natively and you don't have to switch it first. So just don't use BitPay or anything like that. That's why I think my website's cool, because when you go to checkout, you can buy stuff with the actual crypto, and it goes right into my business account wallet on the back end, and I get Dogecoin. I don't have it converting to anything else. So you send Doge to my wallet, it comes in as Doge, and then you get all the security and confirmations of the actual store approving that transaction. It's pretty neat. Difference between realized and unrealized gains, exactly. Those needs to be above 30 and above to be bullish. I mean, yeah, but at that point, if you're not in, that's going to be unfortunate. So, got to buy low so that you can already be in once we get there. But I agree with you. Like, big scale, yes. Once we're above 30 cents again, we're technically back in bullish territory for sure. Really, once we're at 27 cents, we're probably right about there. You think 30, 44, 80, 1.15? Nice. Well, straight from 44 to 80. That's a big gap. I agree with your first numbers, though. 30, 44. I'm with you. All right, guys. Yeah, you got that? Yep. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I got to head out. I've actually got to not only eat breakfast, because I haven't eaten today yet, because I've been busy, but I got to get these orders shipped out to you guys that have ordered from the store. If you want to, go ahead. Links, first link in the description, myhodleware.com. You can also use the code subscribe5 for 5% off. But right now, probably just for like today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I keep changing the stuff up. Buy one. Like if you buy 2 shirts or more, I will give you free shipping. I will pay the shipping myself, and it can be like anywhere up to $10. So it's actually a lot of money. So if you want to support that, go ahead, check out the store right now. Just click the link in the description, find something you like, add it to your cart. And if you like, you can even pay with Dogecoin or USDC or Ethereum or Bitcoin. If not, you can pay with your credit or debit card like normal. But yeah, if you do that within like the next 10 minutes, I will go ahead and make your stuff now and ship it out to you now. And it'll be here within about 3 days, 2 to 3 days. So feel free to support me and do that before you forget if you like. Oh, yeah. No. But the nice thing is, if you plan to stay in the crypto space for a year, as long as you don't cash it out, you will eventually have passed the year of holding crypto. So that's the nice thing. So a year from now, as long as you kept it in crypto and USDC, you will have avoided the capital gains at that time if you decide to cash out. And you could have still been buying and selling different cryptos. When will it go to 30 cents at least? When Bitcoin's at about 45,000. We're not there quite yet. 45, 46, maybe 47. But anyway, guys, yeah, check out that store. I gotta head out and do this before it gets too late. Appreciate you all for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed it. Click subscribe if you haven't as well, and that way I can catch you in tomorrow's stream. And I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. So thank you and good night.